Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Mission Banished Turret Takedown set. And yes, that's actually the name. It's Mission Banished Turret Takedown. That's the name. Not to be confused with the Turret Takedown from the Halo Infinite line. Yeah, it's basically the same concept, I guess. But this is a Halo Wars 2 set. And it is one of those weird sets that was like Mexico only, pretty much. The Jump Pack Brute set, the Radar Wreckage, Mission Radar Wreckage, and the Marauder and this set all like showed up in large numbers in Mexico and didn't really go to the rest of the world until much later, and now they're kind of more expensive. You can tell that they only really showed up in Mexico by going to the Mega Construx Unboxed site, finding the product page for this set, and you will find that all of the reviews for it are in Spanish. So that's a little sad. There's nobody that like actually took the time to make a review who got it in any of the in the States, or I don't even know. Did it ever go to the UK? Either way, it's a very weird set. It's a very overlooked one now because of the way it was released. And we're going to be taking a look at it today. So let's go ahead and jump in, starting with that figure. This guy is the single figure in this set, and he is just a generic all-blue Mark IV Spartan, who I don't think he's exclusive this set. I think there was that combat pack with the couple brutes. I think the brutes were white, and then there was like a blue marine, and then this guy, I think it was this dude. And was he in a blind bag series as well? I don't know. There's one other place you can get him for sure. I know that, but I've forgotten exactly where. But this is a nice blue. It's kind of a real metallic blue. Looks pretty good. And he can fit in well with pretty much any setup you've got. The visor is done decently well. I feel like they should have printed a little bit more gold down at the bottom. It's a little small on there, but it's not bad. And there's literally no other decoration on him at all. He's got the back plate that has a spine, which even though it's inaccurate, I think it looks really cool. Now, when I first got this set, I got this from Noble 6 Originals. It was, gosh, the haul video was so long ago. I don't even know if I'll bother putting the link to it or not. I might. It would be a card up in the corner. But when I opened it up, the torso, and I think some of one of the upper arms too, was like really malformed and was like weird and grainy and like looked a little bit melted. So it looks like their plastic didn't get mixed correctly and he was just falling apart. I had to replace multiple pieces. I had to sand down a few bits. He was an absolute wreck of a figure. You know, he's usable now. I got him in working order, but it took some work. I had to fix the hands. The hands were wobbly in the sockets. Yeah, it was bad. I don't know if that was a problem that other people ran into, but the figure was an absolute disaster, and it took a lot of work to fix. So that's a bummer. That's never a good look for Mega. He comes armed with a sniper rifle, which is a nice weapon to have more of. You can never go wrong with a good old sniper rifle, even though there's no decoration. So overall, very solid figure. I think this is a good addition to the Mark IV lineup. I would like to collect all of the Mark IVs and be able to do a comparison video with all of them eventually, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen because some of them are very difficult to get. This guy was one of them, but now he is here. And I think he looks pretty good when he's not, a falling apart disaster. As the name of the set would suggest, we get a turret that is all geared up to be banished. It's got the red and the silver. This is clearly an unmanned turret because there's nowhere for someone to sit. It honestly looks kind of like a little face to me. We've got the little eyes up here and then like kind of the elite-ish mouth. I think that's just kind of how it looks. We got this big plate here. I don't really know what it's for. It looks like maybe you'd put if somebody were to sit there, they would be shielded by that, but nobody sits on it. There's some nice detail, like there's like the little round pieces down here. These pieces have scratched like silver on them, both on the top and the bottom, which is nice. We get the shade turret blaster pieces here, and we get the shooters with purple shots. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the only set to ever include purple, which I think it's a fantastic color, and I would like to see more of it. I don't know where they would fit that, because it's not often that big turrets like this shoot purple in Halo, I think. I could be wrong, but like this dark purple isn't something we see very often. Then we get 4 of these pieces with printed red on it, which is nice. The legs kind of can be rotated slightly, but I don't think you're really meant to do that. And then, of course, there's a gimmick, because these little mission sets were kind of about the gimmicks. The radar wreckage had the fusion coil that you'd knock out and the tower would collapse. This, you kind of like do that, which actually worked better than I was expecting it to. But essentially, it's just this hinge here, and it pegs up like so. So turret's here. We get our Spartan, and I'm not really sure. There's not like a point on here that looks like a power cell to shoot or something. So I'm not really sure how shooting, just shooting it will do anything. But let me get him into a shooting position. So, you just come up over the hill and just kind of boom. And then the tower collapses, the legs collapse, and I guess it still just keeps shooting because it still has a pretty decent range of motion. I don't really know. You would, I guess, interrupt its fire for the moment. Or maybe this is just supposed to be it blowing up completely. I'm not sure. But it's an alright gimmick. It works. Just kind of boom, breaks. I do think that this is a really nice addition, especially now that the Banished are a bigger thing. You can pop this into any Halo Infinite diorama, which is pretty nice. And you can also tell which way is the front by the red here, and then the tab always goes at the back. So yeah, it's a pretty useful piece. The gimmick isn't the most thrilling ever, but it works out, and I think it looks pretty good. And obviously you can shoot the little purple things, but I don't want to do that because I don't really want to lose the purple shots. Those are kind of cool. I'd like to keep them in one piece. Or not keep them in one piece. Keep them where I know where they are. Also, I just realized I've been doing this whole review and it's been built with the shooters misaligned. So, yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like. Disregard all of that where I showed it with it built wrong. I was just showing you what not to do. It was just a little test to see if any of you noticed. Well, there you have it. That is the Mission Banished Turret Takedown. Is this a good set? Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's a fun little set. It's a nice piece to add on to your Banished army for the Halo Infinite stuff. The Spartan is a nice figure. It's nice to get another sniper rifle. But it's not really worth the $30 some odd that most places are charging. You can find a much better use for your money in other sets, because this is not the most unique set ever. The name has been used before. The turret is good, but again, it is just a turret. We've gotten many variations of standalone turrets like this. So the only reason I really see to buy this set is if you want that particular turret for some reason. If you want that blue Spartan, which I'm pretty sure you can find him elsewhere in that pack that I was talking about. Or if you find it for a really good price. If you find it for $15 or less, I would say, yeah, it's worth it. Go ahead and buy it. Anything higher than that, probably pass. It's a good set, but it's not the greatest ever. And you can find much better uses for your money. That's kind of the bottom line here. It's good, but it's not great. And yeah, that's about it. It's a weird set. I do wish they would have been more available for the rest of the world back when they first released, but at this point, it's kind of, what can you do? It is what it is, and these will probably stay fairly rare, even though, again, it's not the most thrilling set in the world. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.